Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, as always, Mr. Hugh Griffin and our man on the ground, Benji. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Evening. Yeah, all right.
All good.
All good. Well, we had a moment recently where we all wore a Scarlets hat on the podcast, and for our audio listeners, we are all currently wearing this season's away strip. So, boys, I don't know what sizes you are, but if you can see this is an extra large. I don't look overly puffy, so I don't know about you boys. If you want to do a bit of modelling, just show us where you got.
Mine looks pretty much the same as yours. I'm not gonna lie, Matt.
So is mine.
Yeah.
It's a little bit baggy, isn't it? But
Yeah. It's making me jealous of Ben's light though, because Ben's is very well lit.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, I do have a lamp by me, but I'm kind of scared to put it on. It's like one of them hairdresser dryers. It just looks as though you could stick your head up in it, but you absorb you. So kind of staying away from it.
You should get one of those ring lights.
Yeah, I mean, that is an idea actually.
You need to put that on wrap expenses.
Right, yes. Yeah, well, to be fair, Rap did buy me a headset, but it didn't last very long.
Yeah, that's probably a good point, actually. That's just money down the drain, let's be honest.
Yeah, anything with me is down the drain. But I'm happy to, listen, I segue. This wasn't money down the drain now. I took a visit to Newcastle Emlyn last year. I bought this here. I've been meaning to show it up every single pod since, and I've only now finally got to do it. So it's my nice little Newcastle Emlyn cup. You can just about see the logo in there. It's really nice. Can't remember how much it was. I think it was only like £2, but it stood the test of time. It's gone through many a dishwasher, and fair play.
That's risky putting that in a dishwasher.
I know. That's why
hand wash only, isn't it? Come on.
No, I'm not the one that loads the dishwasher. If I'm honest, I do it a few times, but that's other people in the house.
They members of the family.
The way my missus loads the dishwasher stresses me out.
Yeah.
It's so inefficient.
Oh, what was I saying? One person in the relationship will load a dishwasher like a Scandinavian architect. The other one will do it like a monkey on crack.
Whatever fits.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough side chat for now. So, small bit of business of a game of rugby to discuss. Scarlets 30, Edinburgh 24. Am I right in that off the top of my head?
Yeah. I didn't get to watch it again. Second game in last 2 months that I wasn't able to watch live because I was out and about doing stuff.
You've watched it back though, haven't you?
I've watched the first 60 back. I've still got 20 minutes to go, which is awkward because I was specifically asked by someone on socials, what did you think of the final 20? Don't know. But it seemed to be going well from what I saw. I was at the F1 exhibition in London. So I had to go down to London to see it, obviously, because that's where it is. And it was in, I can't remember what it's called, the XL Centre or something. And we got there, and there was this like Comic Con thing on at the same time. It was like MegaCon. It was happening in the same place at the same time. And there was like 2,000 people in cosplay all around when we got there. I don't know, either you two into cosplay?
Not personally.
Little bit, not doing it myself, but I do enjoy seeing some of the designs people come up with. It is awesome how they do it.
I've been to a couple of Comic Cons. Some people put a lot of effort,
a lot of
money into these costumes. Like, fair play to them.
It's not my thing. I've got to be honest. Like, I get it. Like, if you just like making costumes and stuff, and you're into it and you enjoy it.
Yeah, not when in public.
Yeah, okay, I get it. But then it just doesn't do it for me. But there was one guy, there was a guy dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nice.
And there was a guy dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a guy comes up and asks him for directions, and he goes like, "Oh yes, over there." And this bloke flew across the pavement.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway, but yeah, so I was in and amongst that, and the girlfriend's going, "Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that," and I'm like stressed out, checking the Scarlets score. She's like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, "Nothing, it's fine."
I need to know.
What do you mean checking the score? Surely you had the Premier Sports app up and ready every time you popped it out your pocket.
I was out and about, mate. I was moving around London on the tube and that.
Yeah. And don't worry about that. I mean, I do think it suits, you somewhere called MegaCon next to F1. It's a massive con watching cars drive on the same track for over 2 hours.
I was nearly an
Hey.
F1 content creator. There was a minute where I had more F1 content than rugby.
I know. It's a shame how things turn out, isn't it? Okay, we done the side chat. Who just brought us back to it? I don't know why, but it is just he's on his own schedule by the looks of it. So seeing as though Hugh is still a little bit behind us, Benj, what did you think of the game? And I'm assuming you were in the crowd.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I thought it was a good game in the sense of we won. I think we didn't feel comfortable, and I think I think was it 20? What did we got? 20 points up to what are they on? Can't remember off the top of my head. 12?
We were
7?
27-12 up at one point.
27-12, that's it. And I was thinking, oh, we've done this. And then I was thinking, oh, big M now, big tick, come on. Let's get the game. It's in the bag. And I was so glad they kept Ioan Lloyd on because he was fantastic in that game. He controlled the game well. I thought he kicked well. There wasn't many Edinburgh fans there that I saw. They made a little bit of noise, I guess, when they scored the tries. McLeod was awesome. Obviously scored in his ninth try.
9 in 9. Yep.
Yeah. So he was class. I think we underestimate him. He's probably one of our best players by far. I think he's changed this season completely for us. But yeah, I think the team there, they play well. I'm glad obviously we won. And also going to the last kick of the game, I know you guys are a bit cheesed off by it, but I'm glad that you went for it because it seals the win. Can you imagine we went for the corner and they scored the other side? We'd be so pissed.
Yeah. I would be annoyed, but at the end of the day, it's risk reward rugby. Risk reward rugby is
Yeah.
It's why it's going to be tight. We know it. It's always going to be tight in these positions.
Yeah.
That was what was it? That's a 2-point swing. We've literally we've gifted Edinburgh 2 losing bonus points. We could have won that by plus. We could have won that game by +4 against them. Instead, it was by +2. That could be massive come end of the season.
But I think obviously the team has been told finish these games off. Don't leave it up to chance. Just get it done. I think obviously like that's what Dwayne said after the game. If anyone saw his interview, he was just like, we're just happy to win and get it in the bag.
So this is actually a nice segue into a bit of content by our friend Hugh Griffin. So yeah, that's him. He just pointed at himself as if he doesn't know who he is. So you recently spoke with a man called Analyst Gus and discussed this very, very same issue, taking the 3 or going to the corner. And do you want to elaborate for the people? Well, first off, people, if you don't know it will signpost you in the right direction to go watch it. It's a really interesting listen, fair play.
Yeah, someone please go and watch it because absolutely nobody on YouTube is watching it. Like Matt's interview with Charlie Tickham has got like double the number of views as this has.
Well, what do you say? People want it. That's all you can say. But no, so what was it that that bit of insight you got from Analyst Gus?
We were chatting about whether taking the 3 is going out of fashion. So Scarlets have taken the 3 more than anyone else in the URC with 23 times. I think the next top is like 13, 14 in the league. And we were saying, is that going out of fashion? And he said, and Analyst Gus, or Angus Usher is his full name, is a professional sports analyst. And he said that in a club rugby match in the regular season, he doesn't think a team should ever be going for the 3. They should always be going for the corner. And he said that it's about that risk rewards. And he said you should be doing your self-analysis of what is your execution like when you have a platform in the opposition's 22. And he said you should also take into account what your restarts are like. Because if you're bad at receiving restarts, why would you risk just taking the 3 only to give the opposition a platform in your 22 or deep in your half? And I kind of found that really interesting, and I thought that it really kind of spoke to the kind of situation that we're in, because like I said, Scarlets are kind of taking the three alive. So if you look at our stats, I'll just try and pull some up here. So first of all, like taking where we score our tries from. So in this particular game, as an example, our 3 tries came from 2 driving mauls in their 22 and a tap and go on their 5 meter, which is effectively a set piece. So that clearly works. We're clearly good at that. And I think like something like 64% of our tries, it's gone down a little bit now. It was higher, it was like 70%, but something like 64% of our tries now come from sets piece. And I think first phase, we're on nearly half of our tries come from first phase. So we're good at scoring tries from first phase. And this comes back like the Ospreys game is the perfect example of this. We kicked for 3 all day, and then we went for 1 first phase move right at the end of the first half, and we scored. And kind of the point is even if you've got like a 75% goal kicker, and by the way, Ioan Lloyd, 6 out of 6 kicks, some of them were hard, fantastic performance off the tee by Ioan Lloyd, brilliant. But if he's like on average, let's say for argument's sake, a 75% goal kicker, so you're going a 75% risk of the 3, or you're going a 50% risk of the 5. And by the way, if you get the 3, you will be giving them a kick off, which Edinburgh were very good at restarts. In this particular game, they got 2 restarts off us, reclaimed 2 of their own restarts. And our exit from our own 22 success is only 87%, which is not brilliant. Not brilliant. So, and we've spoken all season about exits from our 22 and getting long kicks and things. So even if we did get out of our 22, we're not kicking it very far. So I kind of feel like if we're good at attacking from set pieces, which we are, and we're not great at restarts, which we're not, why are we taking the 3 so much? I mean, if you think back to the season, we've had some narrow losses. How many games would have been different had we not taken the 3s that we took?
Yeah.
3,
We did
4, 5.
last season though. I think we were criticised for not taking the 3.
But our set piece was also really bad last season.
Really bad, yeah. But what's our conversion rate in the 22? Because obviously you probably have some sort of stat on that.
See,
Probably got
22
from this
entries.
game.
So what about just over 1 in 3 of our 22 entries end in a try being scored?
But that doesn't differentiate between on the 5 meter line or literally 21.9 meters away.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, you've got to take
22
that
entries are a bit of a funny stat. I don't really
Because
know that tons
yeah,
about them, because it's like if you have one ruck in there and then you go out and then you have another ruck in it, is that 22 visits? Like I think Ireland were averaging like 8 points per 22 visit at one point because they were scoring from far out. It's not an amazing stat all the time.
I did notice from where I was stood as well that Ioan Lloyd doesn't tend to kick into the 5 meter channel much from the line. He tends to like play it safe, and a lot of the times it was just in the 22.
Yeah, I mean,
like Costello does go for the corner, doesn't he? Which gives us obviously a better platform to drive over.
To be fair, our kicking to touch hasn't been amazing from any player this season. I don't think. I think it's a.
But Costello's had more than, I would say, more luck and skill to do that. You know.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say Costi has a great deal of luck with his touch finders, because he does push them, which is why he does miss a few.
Yeah,
and you can excuse that when, if you're saying if 8 of his kicks are finding 40-45 meters, you know, you're laughing, but you know, when that odd 1 or 2, it's that risk reward. It's something we're seeing in the RAG, the regional age grade. It's something we saw with Wales 18s last year. Same number 10. He, you know, Carwyn Jones, we spoke about, he's one of his. He will go for every last millimeter out of a kick, and you know, it's the Maverick style 10 that we talk about, and touch finding is exactly the same. If you've got, you know, a 10 or a touch finder, whoever it may be, if they literally go in, okay, 25-30 meters, I'm just going to slot it in there, you know, yeah, it'll slowly get you up there, but you know, you you want someone that can really change the momentum of a game. And if you say, you get a penalty on the halfway line and you literally get a kick and you're within 10 meters of the try line, that galvanizes everybody. That lifts the atmosphere. That is something that really riles not just the crowd but your players as well. So it's obviously there's always a balance. There's a balance to everything, but I would always take the one that wants to get every last inch out of it.
So like, to give a couple of examples, in this game against Edinburgh, if we'd have kicked for, instead of the 3 penalty kicks that we got, if we'd have kicked to the corner one more time and scored a try, we still win, but it's a bonus point win, and we've got 5 points instead of 4. The Ospreys game, another great example. In the second half, we've kicked for posts 3 times, missed 2. Again, if we've got a 1 in 3 conversion rate for 22 entries, we score a try there, we've won the game. And if you look at the table now, we'll have a look at the table a bit later on in the show. If you look at the table now, we're level on wins, we're level on everything with Cardiff, but we've got a better points difference from Cardiff because they've been battered a couple of times. We haven't been battered.
Less bonus points.
But they've got 2 more log points than us because they've got bonus points and we haven't. So that's kind of where, for me, the next evolution is. Look, I'm not calling it a crisis. I'm not here shaking my fist and going, "Oh, this is rubbish." I actually intended to come on the pod and be Mr. Positive because I thought you two would be so miserable about us winning wrong. Yeah, I think that for me, we need to kind of stop taking the 3s and back ourselves, because our driving more and our set, like, first phase moves are really good. So I'm not sure why we're not backing ourselves more.
No. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't mind taking the 3 in certain situations. If it's on the halfway line and you're more or less bang in front, I don't mind Ioan or whoever going, yeah, go on, I'll have a crack at it. You're not losing much in there.
There's game state. There are moments where taking the 3 I'm fine with.
Same as if it's like 39 minutes, and you're 6 points up or whatever. You've got a chance to go 2 scores ahead in at halftime. It perfect sense to take the kick just to get it in and have a breather. So there are times where the 3 is recommended, and like you said, game states. But yeah, the amount we've been taking, because I'll be honest, our try scoring rate at the beginning of the season wasn't, it wasn't overly great either. No, I think
we scored some great tries, but it was like 1 a game, wasn't it? It wasn't like
exactly.
It was,
it wasn't
2,
like
1
good amount of tries.
Yeah, I think we've got like how many? We got 1, 2, 3.
You
got
just
3
know
try bonus points.
You just know when you
wrong
see
side.
though, most of these teams are getting ahead because they got the bonus points. Like you said, Cardiff. Even Glasgow, they always go for the four tries, don't they?
Yeah, always. And yeah, I just think that I can point to games where we'd have won if we'd have done that. Obviously hindsight's 2020, 50-50. Hindsight's 50-50. But if you look around and see, like, we've taken 10 more shots at goal than any other team in the league, that's kind of a giveaway of, there must be a reason why no one else is doing this type thing. So, like I said, and if our set piece was rubbish, I'd be saying, yeah.
If it was last season,
it's not. Yeah.
We were like, all right, yeah, go for the 3, please. At the start of the season, maybe it was like 4 games we didn't lose a line out, which is amazing for us. It's not been so good since, but the stats are still high compared.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's probably time for some player stats then. So, are we ready for some of these? Have you got your
I only
ready?
did a couple, but so Ioan Lloyd was kind of the one that's, I think, deserves a lot of praise. We've critiqued Ioan Lloyd a lot on this show, and I think for me, this performance against Edinburgh is arguably his best for the Scarlets, and it wasn't a razzle dazzle. Look, I don't think anybody in the Scarlets jersey razzle dazzled in this game, and that back line was a little bit pulled together. Obviously, we didn't have any backs on the bench. Jack Davies getting his first start. Congratulations to him, by the way. Shout out. Steph Evans' first game back from injury. So for Steph to turn in this controlling performance as he did, I think was massive. So 80 minutes, 28 meters, which was actually top. So that's what I'm saying about no one's razzle dazzle in this game. Our top meter maker was 28, which is very not really us, but we won the game, so who cares? 16 passes, 15 points, obviously kicking off the tee, 7 kicks. Hallelujah. I think he listened to the pod last week and he's like, do you know what? I'll show those guys. I'll kick the ball. So fantastic. 4 carries, 3 defenders beaten, which was the most, and obviously 1 try assist. I think generally, guys, the comment about this game is the big players, the players who we said there was a lot of responsibility on them, showed up, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I know Benji's already said that, he thought Ioan Lloyd was there. I mean, he had his moments. I'm not going to say that, but I will, I'll easily say it's his best performance of the season.
He's not a natural 10, though, I don't think, is he?
It depends on, again, the team you're playing in and the style of play you're trying to run. He's not great defensively, which, you've got to have the team to match with. I know that, thankfully, they weren't, brought to the forefront as much in this game. But, you look at him, you see all that talent, or the natural talent he's got, and you're just thinking, he could be a great. He really could. He has got everything, in his locker. That's why he can play 10 through 15, but he's not really utilized a lot. I will say he has stepped up as a 10. This season, he's played a lot better as a 10 this season as opposed to last year.
He's out competition though this year, isn't he? Costello's been fit.
More or less the same, I'll be honest, because
Costello's injured for most of last year though.
Yeah, but I do have the stats by year of how many games they played and all that, but I'll dig them out in a minute.
I think there's a place for a Ioan Lloyd type player, and I think you can see why he works well for us, because if we're going to do this kind of low ruck attacking or first phase thing, you're going to have days when it's not coming off, and so you need just a game breaker, someone who can create something from nothing. It's great to have that option, but like I said, in this game, this is the first game since I don't know when that I can say he's controlled that game through kicking, through exerting kick pressure. So I think he deserves a huge amount of praise for this performance. We've critiqued him in the past, so I think it's only fair that in this game we say, yeah, you've stepped up.
Yeah, I got no issue saying you've done well for there. So last season you only had 12 starts at 10. He's on 7 now. So by the time Sammy comes back, he will already be level on that. I think we got 5 games, at least 5 games before Sam Costello is back, if he stays on his original prognosis. So yeah, that competition aspect isn't really there, I don't think, because Ioan's getting on the pitch no matter what, which, with his, move to Cardiff, I'm not 100% with, but, that's just the position we're in. And position
it's not announced.
Because... I know it hasn't been announced, but as soon as, Steph or Simon put it out there in Wales Online, it's you may as well just say it's a done deal. It's just not ready to be announced.
It's very gutting.
It is, and I gave my rant on it a few weeks ago, and I don't want to go back into it because it does make me a bit angry. But yeah. So,
other players who stood out, I don't have the stats for them. Cowdor
was
solid.
He's played himself back into form. He really has. I know we discussed it earlier in the season. His box kicks are looking a lot better. His exits improving. I'll say that much. So I'm happy with Cowdor. I am a bit baffled by the lack of Archie in the matchday 23, but that's probably a question for the supporters evening on the 11th of February. And yeah, so Cowdor's improving. I was quite impressed with Jack Davies in defence. There was a few times where it would have been easy for him to just bite in and take the man, just do what anyone take the man and ball, but no, he kept his distance. He was wary. It's you could see that there's that full back in him where he won't make that 100% I'm going for you until he knows 100% in his own mind where that ball is going. I think that he was defending 2 men on his own, and he lined up that first one. The pass went, and he pushed off and made the tackle. Within half second. So there were quite a few moments like that in the game that I was impressed with Jack, and I can understand why Dwayne had faith with him early in the season when you give him that 25-minute run out or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm really happy, to see Jack, and I'm happy to see more of him. I don't know how much more of him we're going to see. We might see him in the next game, but then I think Tommy Lewis is back in the running, so that's something we'll discuss in 3-4 weeks time. Anyone not in the forwards, I should say. Anyone else do you want to discuss? Because obviously you've mentioned McLeod.
I think Steph Evans play well.
I didn't notice him do tons, I've got to be honest, which, it's his first game back from a long injury. So
I saw him, I don't know, I saw him take the ball into collisions, and he seems like a bigger lad than he used to be, obviously. I think he played well. No, obviously it's his first game back. You can't expect the world, but solid,
Yeah. So something we always see with Steph is we always see him getting isolated. We always see him kicking balls we don't need to see him kicking. And I can't pick up, not from the eye test, I can't pick up many moments, if any, in that game. So, well-rounded, solid. He did his job, and, he got us over the line. If we move into the forwards now.
Wait, we haven't talked about the centres. This is centres.
Why would we talk about the centres?
Because one of them actually got official player of the match.
Oh, did he now?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to give Johnny, player of the match for next game, just for the way he controlled the drum in the changing room. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best one so far.
100%.
Best one so far.
100%.
I think Max didn't have his most exciting game ball in hands, but I thought he was very tidy performance, and the commentators were saying like, the 10, 12, 13 for the Scarlets has worked well today. Edinburgh didn't give him any trouble, I don't think. But just on Johnny, 80 minutes, 13 passes, which is a lot. He was doing the Eddie James pullback quite a lot. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
and
he
was varying it up of crash ball versus pulling it out the back, so Edinburgh never knew what was coming. I thought that was really good. And it's kind of like narrowing the gap a little bit between him and Eddie in terms of skill sets. They're becoming a lot more alike, I think. Still, like, Eddie's more better at the distributing and Johnny's more better at the hard running. But I think they are getting a bit closer together just in terms of skill set. 12 out of 13 tackles, can't complain. 11 meters is the one that a lot of people have said, 11 meters from 12 carries, that's rubbish. But you have to look at like meters gained versus meters made. Like if he's carried like hard off a 12 crash ball line and he's gone straight into their 2 biggest defenders, he's not going to be making a ton of yardage doing that. But the point there isn't to make tons of yardage, it's to set up whatever's coming next for the Scarlets. So
yeah,
I don't read anything into that, is my advice.
Like for me, looking at that, you've got 12 carries with 11 meters, but you've also got 1 defender beaten and no line breaks, which means he's run into a brick wall all game. And yeah, you can say, maybe he should have punched a hole, or maybe he should have gone around a bit. But no, he that was his job role for this game, and he executed it excellently.
Yeah, so that's just kind of it. And like I said, the big players in the back line who needed to step up with the absentees that we've got thanks to Wales call-ups, the ones who needed to performed. So that's what I'm happy about.
I'll touch on the other centre, Max. We still are, wondering about his defence in our 13 channel, but he stood up well against Edinburgh, so fair play to the lad. You can see he's working hard on that area of his game. So happy days. So who in the forwards? Because there's only one forward I want to talk about, but I'll let you guys have a little.
It can't be Marnus again. We've talked about Josh. Marnus is like the best player on the pitch every single game. So Archer, do you want to talk about Archer Holtz? 4 dominant hits, I can tell you Archer Holtz got in this game. Most of anybody.
Archer. Good for Archer coming back in. He did well. Fair play. He's doing well. Like I said, when we signed him and we saw the first images of him, I was in love with it. He's got more or less a perfect body for a tight head, all the muscles in the right places. But it's the other prop I want to talk about, and it's just one moment because it made me so happy and giddy. when the penalty went against Hepburn, and he was so pissed off that it kept out that he was, kept getting on the wrong side because he knew he was in the right, and he was bouncing it up. What are you doing? Oh, I love that moment. I love seeing animation from front rows. It's absolutely brilliant. And to see he has that passion as a Scarlet as well as a rugby player, I think that that's won a hell of a lot of brownie points to me. Never mind the scrimmaging or the other action he was involved in, how he behaved in that moment. That was brilliant for me.
Question: do we know how bad Maximus's injury is?
Haven't seen anything, and quite frankly, without a game for a while, we're probably not going to hear anything either.
Usually in that press conference, before the games, that's usually when we hear about injuries and stuff. So
yeah, I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. A bit of news that we didn't actually discuss talking about is one of our back rowers is up and gone to London.
Oh yeah,
Carwin.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Like with the current state on it, we've lost Dan Davies. It's a short-term loan, so
is it till end of the season?
No, it's a short term, so it could be anything from 2 weeks.
Could just be during Six Nations, probably.
Like,
possibly.
I would hope that it's only for the month. Like, literally, gets us, not back for Munster, but back the Monday after Munster, because there's 3 Premiership Cup games in that time. I know Saracens are down, some players due to the Six Nations. That's why I'm thinking he's there for that. And when you're sending a player on loan like Ioan, who we know the coaches involved are telling us he needs game time, I'm expecting him involved in every single one of them Premiership Cup games. And if he's not going to play after that, then they would much rather him be playing, getting minutes at the Carmarthen Quins. We know that just from talking to them. So unless we've been told, he's getting minutes in this short term loan, then I can't see it lasting too long. We will find out now in the next coming days if he's named in the Saracens lineup for the. I don't know who they're playing. To be honest, it's always a bit dodgy with them in the Premiership Cup. But yeah, good on him.
Yeah, great opportunity for him. Question then. With Maximus playing 6 again, and the stat is that we've never lost a game where Max Douglas has started at number 6. Is he our best number 6?
Depends on what you want from your 6.
Because it's kind of our way of getting the biggest players on the pitch is to have Lousy, Craig, and Max all playing together. And then if you've got, obviously, Captain Josh starts, and then if you've got Fafita or Plumtree at 8. It seems to work. Like I'd rather that than Fafita and Plumtree, as we've discussed many times on this pod.
Yeah. Well, it solves that issue. It solves that back row balance, but you've then got to take on the whole team feel. Like, Jack Price, he's a very worthy understudy. I'm happy for him to come off the bench, and just tackle all day, because he's more than capable of doing that. He's more than capable in the line out. I'm not saying he's at the same quality as either of the guys, but he can do the job, which I'm happy with. But it's a case of when you want your bench to work, you want those players on the bench. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it as an as a back 5. It is brilliant. It's obviously one of Fafita or Plumtree, because then it just means the others on the bench, and we've solved that problem. But yeah, moving forward, obviously, assuming his injury is minor and he's back for these games, I can see it against Munster and Ulster. But, when we're talking the games, we're not losing. It's like we're talking the double header against those people a little bit east of us. It's a case of I want my strongest possible 23, and my strongest possible 23 does not include Max Douglas at 6. It includes one of those 3 on the bench.
Well, there you go then. I think that's pretty much there is to talk about this game.
Is there?
Yeah,
You
kind
sure?
of. There was no particularly interesting stats. It was quite a business-like performance, I thought. And yeah, just kind of a game that we expected to win that we did win. Like it was very run of the mill, I felt.
I thought it was nice to see Ioan Nicholas score a try. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Yoza's been with us for so long. He's a Pontevedra boy. He is
But
everything. He's a local lad, like so.
but he is. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him not give 100%. He's just always giving his all. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice to see him get a try because I know he
he
struggled for a while. Didn't he get actual score anything?
yeah, he's very much in Ioan Lloyd mold. Obviously, I know he's a bit older. But, it was
Hmm.
always a case of is he a winger? Is he a fullback? Is he a centre? Because he did literally play everywhere.
He's cover
Now,
basically.
yeah. Now, obviously, Ioan Lloyd at a younger age has said, tough shit, I'm a 10. Ioan Nicholas never really did that. I think he has found a decent home as a
Yeah.
fullback. But, there we go. Even if you go back pre-regionalism, he's a Pontevedra boy. He was going to end up at Llanelli RFC. So, these are the players that,
He's a
really
modern
are the
day Paul
lifeblood.
Asquith.
Don't bring
Oh,
up Paul. I'm still a bit bitter about him leaving. To be honest, he was a perfect player.
he's class.
But yeah, so does that mean it's time for the best part of the
Oh,
pod?
Right, so this is
Beth?
interesting this week. No thunder this week. No thunder. Are you going to start with the under 18s?
Yes, I'm going to start with the under 18s. Are you happy with starting with the under 18s? Do you have some stats on it?
No, I don't have anything. I'm excited
Yeah,
to hear about it. All I've seen is the score.
yeah. Well, all you have seen is a score, and that's more or less all we get. We've only literally in the last couple of days had the highlights from the first game be popped up. So we expect highlights of this week's game on next week's pod. Is all I'm going to say. But there. So pretty much an unchanged 15. We had the one change of loose head prop, and we swapped our 6 and 8 around. So we headed down to Manach to play the Dragons. And after a 51-19 win, at home against Cardiff, we thought, we kind of got to back this up a little bit. So we decided to go and have a 50 points to 12 win away from home. So that makes it 101 points for, 31 against after in 2 games of rugby. And I know I said this last week,
Is
but
that good? Sounds good.
we're
I got in
not.
trouble last season for being cocky about the under 18s. Do you remember that?
But you know what the worst thing is? Everyone involved with the under 18s, with that junior academy, even some of the people in the senior academy are like, oh, last year was a special group. Oh, we're never going to have one like that again. I know some of these players are the same, but, crikey Moses, this is another level. It is quite amazing. And if you're looking at the other results, going on, Ospreys beat RGC 17 points to 14. Dragons beat RGC in RGC. So, I know you can't always tell, by other results against other players, other teams, etc., etc. But the way the results are falling, it looks like this could end up being a bit of a walkover. I really hope not, because obviously, everyone wants competition, and we don't want to see that too much. But yes, massively exciting time to be, part of the under
So who
18
scored in this
setup.
one then?
So
Griff Watkins?
we had 8 tries and 8 different try scorers.
Lovely.
So I list them
it's a
off.
great start.
So we got Thomas Williams, Sean Jones picking up his second try, Tom Kossuth again second try, Kellen Olcock, Clea James second try, Griff Watkins fourth try, and then we had Ollie Lewis and tight head prop Nathan Davis. Now I like Nathan Davis. Obviously, he's second year 18s, but he was involved with Wales 18s last year behind, his club mate Jack Pritchard, who's obviously now with Wales under 20s. So, we lots and lots of stock.
So Carwyn Leggett-Jones has missed 3 conversions, is what you're telling me.
Well, Carwyn Jones on paper has scored 3 conversions, and Kai Evans has scored 2. So when that change happened, I don't know. That's the thing. If a prop is scoring, then you're thinking, you're going to be, it's going to be a drive over. With the strength of our pack, I would have thought probably first phase after a maul, after a line out maul. Same with, Clear James, another prop, Ollie Lewis, a second row. So I'm thinking if it was
Scarlets props, they don't line break from 80 out.
100. Oh, we saw it last year. We saw it last year. Oh, what? Wait, where is it? Where is he? I gotta remember his name now. Oh, is he gonna do my net in if I don't remember his name? Oh, it might have been a Lewis Jones or something, but he had this amazing step off a line out. It was just something else. I absolutely loved it. And then he just darted over, from outside the 22 for a try. Oh, I got to find that clip. That was absolutely awesome. But yes, like I said, we all want competition. We all want this to, give all the boys, the chance to progress, because this is all what it's all about. It is about progressing these boys. The one thing I would like to know is how these games are being refereed, because on a sub point, I got to have a nice little trip this past Sunday with a ref educator, and I went to an under-18s game in a different country. I have to say that. And the job that the referees have been given is let the play flow. Do not ping it unless it is absolutely so clear cut they're going to punch you in the face. So you're watching the game and you'd see so many holding on, a little bit in from the side, and they just let play flow. What these boys want is they just want you to let the game flow. So I am interested on that aspect. Are we seeing the same thing? To get 62 points in 70 minutes, that's some good going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one agree with me. Okay, so
we agree.
Next up is the Daunting trip to RGC. So
are we going? We got the helicopter. Go by Chinook.
Well, that is one way to go, but not for me, unfortunately.
Probably quicker to tunnel.
So yeah. So if you're lucky enough to be going up or be in the area, I don't know why you'd be in the area, but that's the way it is. 2:30 on the 2nd of February, the Sunday.
Taking a hovercraft to the Isle of Man, and then we're taking a hand glider from the Isle of Man to Liverpool, and then walking from Liverpool to RGC.
No. We stay away from Scousland. No, don't go near Liverpool. Don't go near any airport in Liverpool. Especially John Lennon. Stay away from him. Ugh. Worst airport I've ever been to. Yeah. Okay, so we time for a bit of community?
Yeah.
I said, are we ready for a bit of community?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Boys, you're letting me down. Okay, I'll share my screen for you, wonderful YouTube listeners. You've obviously sorted yourselves out for this week. So, no SRC, but SRC cap action.
Right, I thought this was supposed to be after the SRC.
No, it's still in the middle. It's this.
Oh, for crying out loud, lads.
Mate, I can go with you through the structure of this season. It is driving us all nuts, but it is what it is. We got to work with it. So just breathe and be calm. So yeah, first up in Pool A, we had Llanelli at home to Cardiff. Now in the 23, we had Tom Phillips, our former back row. It was the young loose head from last season's under-18s, making his first start of the season. I believe he's playing University Rugby, so Bucks Rugby. We also had Ed Scragg in the 15. And we then have the man with all the talent in the world, it seems, Tian Sparrow on his bench, making his first appearance for Llanelli. The boy has been through, a bit of illness. He's had a few comeback games for his home club, Ammanford. I'll be honest, Ammanford looking outrageously good at the minute. But I'll get to that in a bit. So 40 points to 33 was the final result in Llanelli's favour. But Cardiff will be kicking their teeth they did not win this. I think it was something like 26-12. Or they had such a big lead that they just let Llanelli back into it. But Llanelli are turning back into that machine where they just do not lose. So, happy days for Llandovery. Because of the format of the Cup, there's 5 teams in each pool, so there's one bye round, and the bye round is coming for Llandovery this week. So they'll be off for a few weeks now before their next game. So the other match we have to talk about is in Pool B, and Carmarthen Quins travel to Ebbw Vale. Keanu Evans starting. We had Rodri Lewis and Ellis Payne. Ellis Payne who's been playing for Newcastle Emlyn, making his first appearance for Carmarthen Quins off the bench. And the result was 24-7 in Ebbw Vale's favour. But I do need to stress that it was 7-7 at half-time, and it was 7-7 around the 63rd minute mark. It was literally just a blitzing in the last 15 minutes or so by Ebbw Vale. And Carmarthen Quins have lost a couple of players to Wales under-20s, and just by looking at their 23, they made a few changes. I gotta be more prepared for this, boys. I do have exactly how many changes they've made here, but I'm being a bit lazy at the minute.
36.
36. That would be something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 changes, which includes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new bodies. So I'm not going to say it was a rotated side, but the guy who started at 10 has started at 10 one other game this season. So that kind of tells you where they are. But Ebbw Vale did not do that. It was pretty much exactly what we've been seeing all season from them. So, a lot of credit to this Carmarthen Quins side. They stuck in well, and they were in with a shout in the last 20. That's all you want when you're playing against one of these top 4 teams in this division. So their game for this week, they are home to Pontypool. Now, Pontypool needed a last minute, and I mean last minute, try and conversion just to beat Swansea on their own patch. I don't know what's going on with Pontypool, but this is a good opportunity for the Quins to really get another win and get their season going again. So down into the amateurness of the world, into the amateurness of Wales. And in the Premiership, we saw Llangennych beat Narberth 28-8 at home. Llangennych have really taken over that, best team from Llanelli, best team underneath that SRC, in our region, certainly. Narberth would have been heading into this season, having held that title for quite a while, to be fair to them. And Llangennych really swept under their feet and just gone for it. The other game, Newcastle Emlyn 27-21 winners at home against Brecon. They haven't
had a win in a while, Newcastle Emlyn.
I was absolutely bouncing on Saturday when I saw this result come in. I know obviously Scarlets won, but this result really, really made my day. It's been not a great season for Newcastle Emlyn by any stretch of the imagination. They're bottom of the league. They've only had 3 wins. But yeah, wow, it's just great. And against Brecon of all teams, they are an upper mid-table. They are fighting in that best of the rest sort of position. So yeah, really, really proud of Newcastle Emlyn. Oh no, you can't. I'm sharing the screen. I don't know if you can still see me.
I can. Yeah, you should.
There we go. I'm showing my wonderful Newcastle Emlyn Cup. Yeah, I'm really proud of the boys. That's a massive effort to do that. So on to fixtures for this week. So Llangennych get to travel down to Cardiff Met. Narberth hosting Pontypridd. It doesn't get much easier for them. And Newcastle Emlyn are travelling to Neath. Now, this is not a great time to be travelling to Neath because, they are third. They are fighting for this title. And they've just gone down and taken a loss against Crosskeys, which will boil their blood. So I'm expecting a reaction from them. Crosskeys are 5th, admittedly, but Neath don't expect to be in competition with anyone except Merton and Pontypridd. So that would really have pissed them off. So I am a bit worried about what might come in that one. So Championship West, Ammanford beating Crimmick 21 points to 5 away. Another game postponed. I'll come to that later, exercising with another game. So fixtures for this week, we got Ammanford at home against Maesteg Quins and Crimmick at travelling to Gowerton. Into Division 1 West. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, from this level on, I've put in bold and brackets whoever is leading these divisions. So in Division 1 West, currently it's Aberystwyth who are in first position. So they won 38-29 at home against Hendy. Wellinvoll against Pencloud was originally scheduled for this weekend, but it's now being played on the 12th of March. Kidwelly won 28-26 at home against Pontarddulais. Port going down 22-21 away to St. Clair's, kicking themselves in their teeth after that one, and a few other things. Last game, Tenby 52-12 winners at home to One Island. Back on the boat for Tenby. You know, they had their 2 losses, you know, their first 2 losses in the league this season, but, you know, a healthy win to kick them back on. So fixtures this week, we got Port at home to One Island, Kidwelly travelling to Pencloud, Aberystwyth travelling to Pontarddulais, St. Clair's hosting Wellinvoll, and Hendy hosting Tenby. You know, some interesting ones in there. You know, there's no games for Scarlets, so maybe Benji can be your man in the ground. Oh no, be your man in the ground as Aberystwyth visit Pontarddulais. How's that sound? You make a nice match day vlog here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So 2 West Central, Burnham going down 26-16 away to Aberavon Quins. Back in action this weekend at home to Porthcawl. Division 2 West, Lampeter lead this division, and they won 26-22 away to Fishguard. Larne 34-21 winners away to Loughra. Milford going down 17 points to 55 against Whitland. And Nant Garedig winning 20 points to 13 at home to Betters. Carmarthen Athletic with the bye. Fixtures for this round, we got Betters at home to Fishguard, Carmarthen Athletic at home to Larne, and Nant Garedig travelling to Whitland. 3 West, and we got Tumble in first position. But don't hold your horses, because that might change, and you'll see why with the result of this game. So we had Amman United 28-23 winners at home to Kev Nathan, Llandarog winning 24-19 away to Cardigan. Hartford West 19-21 losers at home to Llandilo. Aberaeron 52-8 winners in Pontyberem. And then Tumble losing 21-29 against second place to Croyce. So, you know, to Croyce are really on their tail, you know, beating them on their home patch in Tumble. No, I'm not betting against the Croyce going all the way this season. I believe there's 2 teams getting promoted, so we'll both probably go up in the end. Yeah, I can see the Croyce changing to the bowl team in this league in the not too distant future. So Aberaeron at home to Am United, Tumble away to Kev Nathan, nice little derby over there. Hartford West at home to Pontyberem, Llandilo at home to Llancarog, and Cardigan travelling to the Croyce are the fixtures in 3 West. Over into 4 West A, we got Neyland, who currently sit in first position, and their game against Narberth Athletic was abandoned after 62 minutes. I did have the score on here, but Neyland were leading by 2 scores, I believe. But yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, a few minutes more and that result would have counted, but that will now have to be rearranged. So that's going to be fun. Pembroke 89-17 winners at home to Llanybydder. Pembroke Dock Harlequins 43-10 winners at home to Langham. And Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau going down 26-20 away to St. David's. Crimmick Teiru with the bye. So fixtures for this week, Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau at home to Pembroke. St. David's travelling to Langham. Ooh, the black and gold against the black and gold. Who is going to win the black and gold derby? So Narberth Athletic away to Llanybydder. Crimmick Teiru hosting Pembroke Dock Harlequins, and Neyland get the bye. I don't know how risky that is to their position as first, but who knows? So into 4 West B, and no surprises, Howes New Dock Stars are first in this division. So
I knew it.
Wait, you knew it last week. You even saying last week, I believe. So Pantavanna winning 19-17 away to Binya. New Dock Stars 41-33 winners away to Fall Bay. Llandibby 50-24 winners at home to Pontiac. Tregaron going down 22 points to 40 at home to Pennybank. And the game I didn't mention earlier in Championship West was Llanelli Wanderers against Gosainan, and the other game now in 4 West B, Trimsaran against Furness. They were both postponed because a Llanelli Wanderers player has passed away suddenly. We don't have all the details on that. Obviously, our condolences go out. Wanderers and Furness. They've got pictures that are basically touching. So you can understand there's a pretty significant relationship there. So yeah, very, very sad news, and we'll bring you any more as and when if necessary. So fixtures for this week in 4 Westby, we've got Furness at home to Fall Bay, Binia travelling to Llanelli, New Dock Stars at home to Tregaron, Pantavan at home to Trimsaran, and Pennebank travelling to Pont Yates. And that brings the end of my community section. I say my community section, it's our community section. I have to make that clear. It is for all of us, isn't it, boys?
It is.
It's everybody's. Well, it's the communities, obviously. It's the community section.
It's the communities. So, this point, we normally talk about the game ahead, but there is no game ahead for 1, 2, 3 weeks, give or take, from this point on. And so this is the classic Six Nations block. So we've got Munster and Ulster both in Ireland. Without going too much into detail, because obviously we'll preview these games as they come.
Yeah, should we have a quick look at the fixtures coming up?
Yeah, let's go for
I
it.
just happen to have them by you.
Just happens to have them.
So, as you rightly say, Mark, in the Six Nations block, we've got 2 trips to Ireland. Do they go on the ferry? Do they fly? I think they fly.
They gotta fly to Dublin and then make their way. Fly to Belfast, obviously, for Ulster.
Yeah. So Munster, Ulster. I don't know if anybody saw yesterday.
Oh my
Ulster
God.
had a bit of a
good performance.
Banana peel.
Yeah. So I've watched a little bit of Ulster this season. Not brilliant. Don't want to jinx it. Obviously, all Welsh regions have got terrible records out in Ireland.
Ulster home as well, wasn't he, yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ulster,
even more significant.
Ulster have had a struggle this season. So, Munster's a bit of a free hit. I know Mark won't like me saying that, but it's a bit of a...
No, I can't let you say that. Just because, like we said, we always got to take everything in context. So if we just flashback, what was it? More or less 12 months ago, wasn't it? When we faced Munster last, which was the 16th of February. And
yeah, nearly a year to the day.
We took a bit of a pasting. We can't tell a lie. But the last time we were out in Munster, it was 42-49. And, we were very close. Johnny Williams' first game back that season.
Yeah, they were way ahead first half, I remember, and we just came back with flourished tries in the second half.
Yeah.
My heart was in my chest.
Like, without their island superstars, especially, I know there's only...
They don't have that many island players. This is a bit of a narrative in Irish rugby at the moment, is it? Munster don't actually supply that many players to Ireland. It's a bit of a sore subject. But
yeah, well, they would say that they haven't supplied Tagburn because Leinster have supplied Tagburn. I think that's more the narrative they're pushing.
No, genuinely, there's a bit of a thing going on. But anyway, but Munster's not the one that we're going to lose our minds over. Ulster could be an opportunity, and obviously Dwayne and Jared Taylor and Sean, who's the physio guy again?
You've made me lose my mind now.
Someone look it up in the background. But they've got history with Ulster. Huh?
Sean Carney.
They've got history. And then if we could get something out in Ulster, if we can go out there and get something, then we've got Stormers at home, Ospreys at home, and then we've got in the league Dragons on Judgment Day. So there's a run of 4 games there to be a bit excited about. We've then got Leinster at home before we go down to South Africa. We've got a hard end to the season, guys.
Okay.
Fact.
I don't like. I know. I always, I believe we're going to win every single game, and I genuinely do. I'm looking at this. I think we can genuinely take 9 points out of Munster and Ulster. I think we can win in Munster, and I think we can win with a bonus point in Ulster. Stormers have been Stormers this year. Just if we can't beat them at home, there's something wrong. Ospreys double. Christ, how we didn't put a few scores over them is beyond me. But yeah, those games are run. Dragons, again, we should be beating Dragons. I know this is the vital one that people might think. Leinster coming down. But what you need to know is it's Euro semi-finals weekend the week after. So Leinster will not come down with a first 23.
But they have won 10. They are undefeated so far this season. They haven't lost
They are
anybody.
undefeated.
Yeah,
they are
even
undefeated.
But even their third team is,
Yeah. I'm not disputing they've got a hell of a lot of quality, and they've got second 15s and third 15s that can't compete at URC level. But coming down to us with us fully loaded with everyone, I reckon we can do that game. It's the only one that I'm actually concerned with is the final game of the season, which is the Sharks. And I mean the final regular game of the season, because obviously we'll have two finals to contest.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the Sharks are at by then, because it could be that they're desperate to secure a home semi-final. It could be they're desperate to secure a home quarter-final, or it could be that they've already got it in the bag and so they rest a few. We saw what they did against Cardiff last season in terms of resting players, so we'll see. But it's funny you should mention that, Mark, because what you've been speaking about there is kind of similar to what I've just received via a letter.
Ooh. I wonder who.
It's from Jack from Lucker.
I see.
It says, "Dear Sosbans and Sidesteps, now you mention it, this exciting attacking rugby isn't so bad after all. I suppose you Turks will be thinking that 6 home wins in a row makes you the greatest rugby team in the world. Embarrassing, one-eyed rhetoric. Well, I'd just like to talk about that, if I may, for a minute, guys, because how good are the Scarlets? That's the question. Now, no one's getting carried away. I think it's fair to say no one's getting giddy. And if you listen to Marnus being interviewed before the match, you listen to Dwayne being interviewed after the match on Saturday, they'd say, yeah, we've done good, but, there's things we can improve on. But if I'm just to be a bit overly positive, if I'm a bit to be a bit one-eyed for a minute here. We're sixth in the table with 5 wins and 27 matchday points, which is what we finished the league on last season. So that's quite a bit of improvement. Like I said, we're 2 points behind Cardiff, but our points difference is 74 better, which is quite a lot. We've actually got the 4th best points difference in the league.
What was our points difference last season?
Minus 200 something.
We got to lose every single game by 37 or 38 points to match last season. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And have we had favourable fixtures? Yes, but we're 10 games in. We're 14 games into the season now. Have we had 14 favourable fixtures? That would be a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. So, I just wanted to just bring this up because there are times when you have to go, yeah, we won, but we still got issues. But the thing about the Scarlets so far this season, and I don't mind saying this now because we've got 3 weeks till the next game. So far this season, we've got some underlying numbers that are pretty good. So, as I said, our points difference is very good. We've actually scored the most points of any Welsh region so far, and we've conceded the fewest. That's good numbers, in anyone's book. We've got a plus 42 points difference across all competitions. You can see on the graph here, the game against Gloucester kind of tanks that a little bit. Everywhere else, we've been fairly competitive. And this is kind of the pinch of salt about it, is had any one of our 3-1 points defeats had been a win, we'd be 3rd in the table. We could even be, if we'd have beaten Benetton in game 1 point behind the reigning champions Glasgow. So that's, again, pretty good. Ioan Lloyd is the top scorer in the league with 78 points, thanks to how many kicks at the 3 we're taking. But obviously, the set piece is the big thing. Now, the set piece is not just better than last season. It's the best set piece in club rugby right now. No one, Toulouse better than them, Glasgow better than them, Leinster better than them. In terms of percentages, 98% scrum success. And second fewest scrums lost via penalty at just 1.7. So that's pretty good. At the line out as well, second fewest throws lost in the league, second best line out success percentage at 91. I've also got good maul stats. I think our maul stats in terms of meters per maul, mauls per game, maul tries per game is in the top 10 across all of club rugby. That's URC, Prem, top 14. And Verfafita has obviously been amazing at line out steals. Kicking game, we didn't kick the ball. We couldn't have kicked the ball less if we had no feet last season. This season, third most kicks from hand in the league, third for kick meters, which is reassuring. Gareth Davies with the most kicks from hand and second most for kick meters. And then defensively, the URC database ranks our defense as the best in the league. And that's based off having the most turnovers of anybody. I think it's not 69 anymore. I think it's 74. Tame Plumtree's joint for top turnovers with 13. Josh McLeod has made the fourth most tackles. And we've got 82% tackle success, which is fine. And then going forwards, we've got the fourth most meters gained in the league and the fourth most clean breaks. We've got 48% of our tries come first phase, like I said, and 35%, more than 1 in 3 of our tries originate from our own half. That's a bit more exciting, isn't it? That's what we like to see as the Scarlets. And then finally, of our last 6 home games, we've won each and every single one of them. And we've scored at least 30 points in each of our last 5. So this is kind of my point, is that are we getting carried away? Are we the best team in the world? No. But there's some underlying numbers to what we've done so far this season that suggests that we are decent.
Yeah, and we can even push to say that on average, of our last 6 games, our last 6 home wins, we're averaging more than 30 points a game. Because obviously
we are trying a lot of different things, aren't we? I think if a lot of things would actually come off, we'd be well ahead, as in, points wise.
Like for me, I think we're a comfortable 7 out of 10 as it stands. I think there's a lot of improvement.
3 out of 10 last year, but yeah,
I think there's a lot of improvement that we still got. Don't get me wrong, in terms of this league, like I said, I'm not scared of many teams in this league.
Well, I think in terms of below us in the league, because if you think that, based on our run of fixtures so far, we're artificially high in the league. Okay, so who below us in the league is actually better than us? I'd probably say only Munster are the ones that I'd say generally I think they're probably better than us. So that still makes us the 7th best team in the league, and that's if you accept that Cardiff are better than us. Which this isn't a Cardiff podcast, but I think we're better than Cardiff. So
and you look at the way we played against Glasgow. Glasgow are probably the best team in the league, and we almost beat them.
I mean,
away.
Top 6 is where we should be. Now, where we fall in that is obviously a different question and depending on the season. But honestly, anywhere from 2nd to 6th, I think we've got a team.
Anywhere from 2nd to 6th. Yeah, I'll take 2nd. Yeah, I suppose I'll take 2nd.
No,
right,
2nd will do.
Yeah,
but this is dependent on us having our first choice 27, and I'm going to say 27 for this. Our first choice 27 players and injured for the whole season. Obviously, that's where some of the major improvements need to come. We need to really ramp it up with our transition group, with our 3rd, 4th choices. And yeah, there's just little bits in our game. I reckon, like Benji said, we're trying so much more, and it's what we were begging for last season.
More creativity.
Try a set play, make a strike run. There's so many different types of start play. You can even said, okay, we're gonna work on this one starter play, but it has multiple variations. You assess it on the fly. This is the plan going into it. If the ball goes to the 10 first, the plan is to pull it in behind it, whoever. But if you were looking up and you were running forward and you think you can beat that man, or you think there's someone to place, you go and we move it on. And there's so many different ways you can line up exactly the same way, call something slightly different, and still get it done. It doesn't always have to be, oh, your 11 has to be between the 12 and 13, or you have to have your your blindside winger come in, you have to have your centre on the wing, you have to have flanker on. It doesn't always have to be that way. You can set it up so you can have multiple options from the same starter play.
I think we've done well from broken play as well, where I think one of the best tries we scored, I can't remember exactly who scored it, but there was about 4 offloads in there, maybe 5. Maybe against Dragons. But it's
Probably.
nice to see that, where there's confidence, where we're trusting the players are going to be there for the offload. Didn't feel like we had that at all last year, because the ball was just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Something I am persistently noticing more and more is when we're making breaks, the players who are in shot, who you can see on that screen, they are so
Ready.
aware and they are going. They really had that drilled into them. A man makes a break, you get your ass there. And
I've always thought
that is the way it is.
Cowdo's always been that guy. He's always been on the shoulder. If there's someone making a break, he's there. I think some of the other players now are stepping up to that. Blair Murray, Tom Rogers, they're all there. And I think that's showing when we got a full team, basically.
Yeah. And as much as I love a pushover try, as much as I love, a good maul going forward, I've really enjoyed the tries, especially the Ellis Me one against the Ospreys, where that ball is going out and then brought back inside. Those plays, I really, really loved watching them. They're just brilliant. How they all work, how they broke it down. Yeah, I'm loving this style of play that we're actually pushing forward with.
I'd like to see more of like the play we did with Max against, was it Zebra?
Zebra and Benetton.
When he cut that line, we don't see enough run-ons to like that type of pass, which is,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Shield, I don't even know.
We're bottom.
No, we're second.
In the Shield.
Yeah, I'm on the URC website now.
And my points difference wrong then, because I've got us.
Yeah, Cardiff are way out in front though.
Yeah, but they've played 5 games. Everyone else played 3. So.
No, we played 4.
I've not updated our last one then. That's why.
In terms of if I had one wish for the rest of the season, and to be fair, when we talked to Scott, and he said the same thing, was discipline. Discipline.
Yeah.
We haven't had any red cards, but we've given away 11 yellow cards in 10 games. Which is the most of anybody. So yeah.
And we've got the best defense.
Yeah, so that's the one for me. That's the one that we could fix. But the thing for me is I don't think that this season's our final form though. I think we're still on a journey heading somewhere.
We're developing something.
Yeah.
I think we're somewhere between stage 2 and stage 3 of probably a 4 or 5 stage process. This is, I know people have had issues with Peel in the past. I've had issues with Peel in the past. But in all fairness to Guy, this is the first time he's ended a season and come into a full new season with the same on-field coaching staff. Having Lee Jones behind the scene obviously helps as well. When you've got that sort of continuity, you're not ripping up the playbook in the summer or whatever point in the season it is and just going, okay, boys, you've got all this to learn now. Forget what we've told you for the last 6-12 months. So, that can't be understated how important and how helpful that is. Just go, look, we've learned this. We're just going to tweak it and we're going to work on perfecting it. And, we see that, especially defensively, we can see that work.
Yeah. So I just thought it would be nice to end on something positive while we go in for a break. Because for whatever stupid reason, the Scarlets haven't got a game scheduled next week. Apparently there's something else happening.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't have a game every single week. Is literally
I was going to mention, I know you've partly mentioned it already, but the supporters meeting on the 11th of February at 6:30 in the Cornell Lounge in Park Scarlets. I'll be going.
Say it right. The Emerge Cornell round.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
Can't ignore the sponsors.
I've been to 2 of these now, and I quite enjoy them. It's quite in depth. You get to learn about everything behind the scenes. They don't really hold back on answering the questions. So, if you
Yeah,
want to
and to be
ask a
fair, this time
question,
last year when they did one, it took some guts for them to do it because
yeah.
things were going
Well,
badly.
I went to that one and there was a lot of like tough questions and there was people not happy. But the last one was a lot more positive. I think we had a Q&A with Derek Cornell, Don Daniels, I think Lee Jones, and obviously Dwayne. But yeah, they go through like academy, bright prospects. Obviously, you listen to this podcast, you're interested in the Scarlets, so I would say pop down. It's free to come to. You can book the tickets online or through the ticket office. So
Yeah, so probably key to note it's going to be Simon Mudderak, John Daniels, and Dwayne Peel at this one. They do ask you to email questions in, so they have a sort of itinerary they sort of follow during these things. But I
you can
believe they
ask
do
questions
come
on
to
the
the
day.
floor. Yeah,
Yeah.
they come from the floor.
It's usually
So
like a hour-ish, and they do spend about 20 minutes answering questions. So I mean, you get to ask quite a few.
so there's two questions that I really want to pose to them, and the first one is but they probably both appeal more than anything. Is the use of our bench? Why are boys only playing a few minutes? Why are boys not playing at all? And then the second one is why are we not seeing tits on the field? You knew it was
That's the
coming,
same
boys. You
question
knew it was
twice,
coming.
Mark. Right. On that note, for goodness sake.
I want to know about re-signings. I do, because every other team has announced something and we haven't announced any.
Don't worry about that. We got a recruitment special in the near, distant, far away future. So yeah.
I try not to worry.
On that note, as he was just trying to say, he wants to go bed early. He wanted this to be a short one, but it hasn't turned out that way. It's time to end for this week. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. You've probably got a friend that's a Scarlet who might not have listened to us yet, and they'll probably enjoy it. So give a friend a nudge, get us an extra listener. It all helps. So yeah, thank you boys for joining me as always. Won't be here next week because there's nothing really to talk about over the next week or so. But we will be back to preview the Munster game. So we will catch you then. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.